Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and today we have this replay from Grand Battles, and this is myself in the... I don't think these things technically have a tier. The Super Battleship Hannover. Yes, the German one. You know, big surprise. Go figure. I would be playing the Hannover. And I do also have Lutjens in the Hannover as well, with a full secondary build, both with commander skills and with modules as well. That should be up on the screen here for you to see. So, the Hannover. This is one of two super battleships you can control during the Super Battleship Summer event that's going on right now in game. The Hannover has 8 19-inch guns, combined with a whole host of 128mm dual-purpose secondary guns. And that's about all she has. She has a few AA guns on the side, but most of her AAs contributed to by her secondaries, which are mighty. They can go out to 12.5 kilometers, and of course with German HE pins, they can all pin 32mm of armor, which is great at tier 10. On top of that too, she is, if you haven't noticed yet, quite a large girl. She's the largest ship in the game by far. She makes the GK look like a cruiser. I'm not sure if it's in this replay, but there was a moment on stream where I put up next to an FDG, and the FDG looked like a light cruiser compared to the Hannover. It's nutty how big this ship is. Now, of course, the whole point of the Super Battleship event is fulfilling that what-if scenario. If battleships have continued to be the main fighting force on the seas, actually, for any point during World War II and afterwards, and what would their development have looked like? And we get the Satsuma, which is the Japanese super battleship that I'm firing at right now, and the Hannover to see that come to life. And it's a really fun event. So it's so, I don't know, it's fun, but also there's a lot of derpiness in this event. I think it has a lot to do with your stats don't really matter in this event, since this is in a separate mode, not in random battle. So if you slip up here, who cares? So it's kind of an excuse to have fun to some of the players that are very worried about their stats, about the win rate, their average damage. Well, actually, average damage will be through the roof in this mode because of the health of these super battleships. I mean, the Hannover is here at 126, 500,000 health. So, yeah. If you want to farm damage, this is the place to do it. If you are grinding out at tier 9 and need to get to tier 10, head on to this mode. You'll be there quite fast. But overall, it's a very fun event, and there are some strange things going on, and I think you'll see some of that here. I don't know, for a lot of reason, like the Satsuma, he's firing HE at me. I don't know why. Man has 8 20-inch guns, but he's using HE. It's a very strange mode. Now, to play this mode, you do have to gather intelligence reports, which you get by playing normal tier 9 and tier 10 ships in this mode. And no citadels there on that Satsuma, but I do get a nice 13k hit there. And I do activate the special... How do they work? The special command or special firing instructions, which is kind of like a buff that these super battleships can get. And you can, yeah, he's still firing HE, which I don't understand why. He has 20-inch guns. Just use AP, my guy. Which gives these battleships a bit of a boost to their performance. With the Hannover, it gets your secondaries out to 14.1 kilometers, which the Satsuma is well within that by now. And just look at the amount of secondaries going off right now. And this is with the... well, I say decreased accuracy of the secondaries with the new commander skills, but with how big the Satsuma is, it doesn't matter. Most of the shells are hitting. And like I said at the start of this match, I have Lutjens on here. So I'm only 7 hits shy of activating his, well, actually, there it goes, his secondary battery loader talent, which gives my secondaries a 15% boost to their load time. Now listen to how fast they're firing off. And look how fast they're firing off, too. It's a thing of utter beauty right now. And they're being fairly effective. They're hitting a lot of his superstructure, and there's the midway. Yep, like I said, if you want to farm damage, hop in a ship, particularly CVs, and have fun. So he's coming after me right now because, well, I'm sitting angled onto this Satsuma, and I'm being relatively still, so naturally I'm a wise target for him. Gets a pretty decent hit off of me, and I damage con that fire right away. Secondary's still just chewing through the Satsuma, starting a fire on him. I'm about to cross 200 secondary hits in the first 5 minutes of game, and really only in about a minute or so of firing here on the Satsuma. So, yeah. And there we go. 216 secondary hits later. And by Satsuma. Now, unfortunately, I actually got Bismarcked there by the Satsuma. I believe he switched on over to AP there at the end like a smart fellow, and he nicks my rudder. So they're down to Satsuma now, which is one of their super battleships. And super battleships are limited to 3 ships per side in this mode, so they just lost one of theirs. I believe they have 2 Hannovers now on their team. I nicked the FDG there for about 5k. Unfortunately, since my rudder is broken and my damage con is off a cooldown, all I had to juke with is the throttle, which worked kind of well there. I mean, it is an FDG from 20 kilometers. That's kind of pushing the range of those guns. Now, the Hannover's 19-inch guns are surprisingly pretty good for Germans. I'm not saying they're laser accurate, but I'm saying that they are definitely some of the more accurate German guns in the game. Now, what I'm doing right here is I know there's a Mogador around me somewhere, and I don't want to turn around just yet under the threat of him just, rushing me with his torps. He is a Mogador. He's a very fast DD, has very fast torps, and they reload very quickly. Now, we just lost our FDG, but we did also take out their gearing there as well. I just hit that Hannover there for 12k. And unfortunately, I am stuck on this other side of the map pretty much by myself with an enemy Mogador stalking me. And since I am a lone battleship, I'm their Midway's best friend right now. But look, the Mogador has been spotted, and oh no, he's going after our Hawk, which is a very bad thing. But unfortunately, there's an island in between myself and that Mogador. And plus, it's a Mogador, and good luck hitting a Mogador from 18 kilometers away in a Thunderer, let alone a German battleship. I do like these spotlight effects. They're so cool that they pop up when your skill gets popped. I wish they would add that in for like storms in game for cyclones. That'd be such a cool effect. Alright, so I launched my fighter ship because I figured the Midway was coming after me. And I love how the fighters, they just completely circle in front of the enemy planes before they do anything. And now they go after the Midway after the drop's been dropped. So that's unfortunate. But thankfully, the Hannover actually has decent torpedo protection for a German battleship. Not good torpedo protection, just decent torpedo protection. But I popped damage con there to prevent that flooding and popped my heal as well to get my health back. And now that the Mogador is sailing away, I'm just going to go ahead and get on into sea and try to cap it. And the FDG is now charging our Fletcher of all ships. I'm not sure if... no, he's not charging the Fletcher. He's charging me because he thinks I'm all alone here. He's got his gun pointing toward me. Well, okay, buddy. I am literally you, but better in every single way, shape, and form. I mean, it's pretty much what the Hannover is. It's a 19-inch FDG that's been supersized. The armor scheme, too, is very German. It's very similar to the GK and the FDG's armor scheme. Turtleback armor, the bow plating that can't be overmatched by Yami or Satsuma or Shikishima. Turn here to try and throw these bombs off as much as I can, but I mean, it's a Hannover. It's an absolutely massive ship, so it's only going to do so much. Thankfully, the FDG is so preoccupied with me, he doesn't really pay attention to the Fletcher torps coming at him from his side, and he eats a couple of those there too. So now there goes his planes. Now he's forced to either turn into me or turn in and try to deal with the Fletcher torps. Notice I'm also another salvo or two away from getting him to within secondary range. And also, notice what else is just within range of my guns off to the right. The Midway, which thankfully our Fletcher has found. Also, their Fletcher has found as well. Now, Sealord, you just accosted that Satsuma player for loading HE, then you just loaded HE. I accidentally clicked that button when I meant to click my priority sector, because the tittle key is right next to the 1 key. So yeah, that was not meant to happen. Ironically, it probably helped because this FDG did go bow into me, and the FDG does have the same armor plating, well, not the same, but similar armor plating as the GK has on the nose, where it's got a couple of 60mm strips to where you cannot overmatch it with 18-inch or 19-inch or 20-inch guns. Oh, and thankfully our Fletcher's won the gunfight against their Fletcher. Now he's going to go ahead and start chewing into the Midway. Unfortunately, the Midway does have the Tiny Tim rockets, which are very good at dealing with DDs. Aim for the upper nose on the FDG, where it's coated in 32 and not the 60mm, and I get through for 5k. Sectors are chewing on the FDG right now, hitting that massive superstructure there and absolutely just chewing through that. And there goes the FDG. So we're at 188,000 damage now. The Fletcher's chewing through their Midway quite nicely. And there goes their Midway. Now it's just myself, one Satsuma, and our Fletcher friend over there against 2 Hannovers, a Yamato, and a Mogador. this isn't looking too hot. So now I'm going to try and turn back into sea and try and cap it. I had to turn to face the FDG, obviously, because showing broadside to an FDG from this close of a range is a death sentence even in a giant battleship like the Hannover. Well, I'd say especially in a giant battleship like the Hannover because it's a giant target and not even the FDG can miss it from 10 kilometers away. What's really interesting here is that instead of going after the Fletcher with his tiny Tim rockets, the Midway decides to go after me, which this really surprised me because I would have launched my fighters a long time ago if I thought he was going to actually come for me and not try to finish off the Fletcher, which you could, well, actually, after the rocket rework, where they do this now, they dive on down, fire their machine guns, and then drop their rockets. I guess it does make sense to go after me instead of the Fletcher. And oh, hello, there's our friend in the Mogador now from 9 kilometers away. But we're very low health, and our secondary gunners are basically on meth right now, which is fairly historically accurate for the German military during World War II. So, needless to say, I got a pretty fast firing time on these secondaries. Now, it is a Mogador, and it's a very fast ship, and the AI gunners are, well, AI gunners. So, yeah, we're not going to be able to do too much there. So, this Hannover's turning in to dodge, well, the Fletcher torpedoes, obviously, and also angled to me. And there again, another Hannover firing HE, and that one, too. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, I mean, I'm not exactly bow in, but they can still pin me just fine through the superstructure and through the upper belt, and then they load HE. It's just a very strange place, Grand Battles. So here, I do turn out wide to get my sectors on the Mogador to try and help this Fletcher out and try to save him from the Mogador. I do have hydroacoustic search running. He did fire his torpedoes at me a little while ago, but the Mogador does have fairly good torpedo reload times. Down 967 health. Secondaries are going wild. Some more HE from the Hannovers. Again, a very interesting ammunition choice. And there goes the Mogador. And now we have this Hannover to get through next, who's still firing HE. Oh, and there are the Mogador torps. Unfortunately, they did reload in time. And if I'd known this Hannover was still firing HE, I just would have kept on selling broadside onto selling nose into the Mogador and broadside on to the Hannover, but naturally that's not how it works out. And now that I'm broadside onto the Hannover, I am turning my rudder hard over to get back to a bow-in position on this Hannover. Now he loads the AP. It's funny. It is hilarious how this game works sometimes and how things turn out. So now we're going bow into the Hannover, trying to bounce his 19-inch shells off of my armor belt. Here comes the Satsuma's 20-inch shells. Not much I can do about that. Just went straight through the deck armor there. Up to 342 secondary hits now. Now it's a secondary off between myself and this Hannover. Bouncing those shells wonderfully well. Still trying to stay bow in. Trying to sneak my rear turrets out because I'm about to go down here. I'm going to see if I can do as much damage as I can to this Hannover. Aim at his little cheeky spot. Pays off tremendously well there. Get 38,000 damage there. Setting fires on that Hannover. Launch my plane like all dying battleships do. And unfortunately, there goes that. Now, unfortunately, I didn't grab the ending screen because this was on live stream. But, man, what a ride in the Hannover. The secondaries are just amazing. If it wasn't for getting stuck up there because of the rudder getting knocked out and then just getting picked on by the CV, we maybe could have won that if we could have gotten to the fight in time. But, man, what a fun and just crazy ship the Hannover is. The full secondary build on it. And with a special commander like Lutjens on. I can imagine Satsuma's, well, I wouldn't say it's exactly the same with Yamamoto because you do need, of course, to get cracking for Yamamoto's big buff to get activated. And there's only, I think, 8 ships in this mode on either team. But yeah, what a crazy ride and just a fun time in the Hannover. This is what Grand Battles has been like for me. Just a lot of fun, a lot of really derpy moments, a lot, again, very strange decision making from some of these super battleship commanders like the Hannover and the Satsuma that are spamming HE at another battleship when they have literally some of the biggest guns in the game. But, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, I just want to share that match with you guys and show you what the Hannover can do with a full secondary build on her. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 30,000 subs, just past 26,700 a few days ago, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. Hope you're all having a wonderful Monday. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.